Hello, hello.
And I mean, mind you, all of this took place in like 1 minute flat. But I didn't see him in his room. I looked all over. I ran through the whole house. I looked out all the doors and windows, and I was like hollering his name. And I picked up the phone and I called my husband, and I said, I can't find him. And he said, what do you mean? I said, he's not in his effing house. I can't find our son. And I jumped in my car and I drove around the neighborhood and I drove over by the school, and he's already at this point I was like hysterical and I was crying and I was screaming, and he was
He was already what? We always talk about that a lot. I also want to talk about something else today that's really been bothering me about this case here. The Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers case. And there's still no answers yet, but I think we're getting closer. I was going back over some of my notes that you can see that when I do notes, I do them on basically like a tablet that has the dates. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it has the dates. Probably not, it's too dim, but it has the dates and times of when I do the notes on the top. I just circle the month and the date, right? But something I want to talk about a little bit that doesn't get talked about a whole lot, but it's something that I've been really going over in my head the last, 5-6 days, because I'm trying to think and before I get started, hold on. We're gonna say, how are y'all doing today? I hope y'all are having a blessed, amazing day. The flowers are blooming everywhere. The trees are coming out. The seasons are changing. And little Sebastian Rogers is still not found. So, with that being said, let's just take a minute to talk a little bit about Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. He was 15 at the time that he was leaving the roadhouse on February 25th, 2024, around 6:25 p.m. with his mother, Katie Lynn Payne Rogers Proudfoot. We just throw it all in there, okay? That's how Sebastian got his last name, of course, was Seth Rogers, the bio father, that neither one of these two have really had anything to do with since this happened. So I've always felt that was part of it, right? That Ruby just ripped me around, that they wanted to come up with a way to put all this behind them and move forward and have their happy ever after. That's what I think, right? That's just my opinion. I'm entitled to my opinion. Allegedly, these are all my opinions. I'm just a big alleged bubble. Everyone's innocent until proven guilty, right? We're allowed to tell people what we think and our thoughts, right? We're allowed that. It's free speech. So my big alleged bubble, just take it all as alleged. That's the best way to do it. And y'all's comments, of course, are y'all's and y'all's alone, not to reflect the channel. We do our research together because we are a big-hearted little family. And trigger warnings times 100 million times 2. How about that? We'll just do that today. As y'all know, we try to get out and about every day. Whoa, Ruby. Every day that I am not working, we try to be out doing something, trying to find anything at all possible, finding new locations, new areas that we need to look through to see if it's something that might shed light on something. And that's just what we do unless we're on a targeted search. Like today, we don't have a targeted search. So we are kind of just checking out some areas and going over them just to see. It gets her out, it gets her moving, and it gets the drones being tested, it gets these things being done, right? And that's the wonderful thing about it. And look here, we got one yellow flower out here all by itself. So for all y'all ladies, here's your beautiful flower today. Ruby almost knocked it over, but there's a bunch of them. They're just not all yellow. These are pretty, these little buttercups. I do want to say that he was 15 at the time. On February 25th, 2024, he left the Texas Roadhouse, which I took a peek at that newer clip where he looks like he's looking at someone and then tells Katie he saw someone after he went to the restroom. To me, I looked at it. I looked at the timestamps. I always do that. I try to figure out, okay, it took him a while to go to the restroom. So it's telling me he washed his hands. He does all these things, and that's good. That's good habits. Plus, he probably had a diaper on, right? So we know it takes a little longer with that. A glove. Wow. Here comes the wind. Of course, here comes the wind. Always. Every time we get a break in the wind, I try to turn on the camera. I can't. Anyway, what I do want to say is, you know, his birthday was December 7th. I know I'm bouncing around a little, but that's okay though. And he turned 16, which his mother almost forgot his birthday. She almost messed up in that interview, which wouldn't surprise me, because what we're going to talk about is really going to shed some light from day one to show that the guilt inside her was so bad that she couldn't even say this child's name. And we'll go over that in a minute. But, you know, as far as Sebastian, he loves to fish. He loves to be outdoors, although they didn't really allow him very much when he was with mom to go outside. I think he was kind of locked in that house and not allowed to do much. That's why he was so pale. Plus, he was so skinny. We're all concerned of the health in the world, you know, how he was treated. We know CPS was involved. We know all these things, right? We know these things exist because they've told us these things exist. So we have to go by, man, this tree's almost touching the ground over here. Wow. We have to go by that. And we have tried to figure out what's what, things that they said, stories that have changed, inconsistencies, the lies, the abuse, all these things. To not talking to Seth, which I think has always been the biggest mistake they could have ever made. If they wanted this to not be one-sided, they should have been stuck by him every day, just like Riley Strand's parents, just like Gabby Petito's parents. They should have been bonded at the hip until Sebastian was found. But it didn't work that way, because I think right away Seth was like, Dan, red flags were flying. And we got to remember, he pretty much said right afterwards that the mother was responsible. So he feels that. And Ruby the squirrel. And I think that with that being said, it tells a lot. It does tell a lot, I think. But that's not what I really want to get into. I don't want to take too long of y'all's time, but I want to go over something. And this is that first statement that was put out, right? Because we know Sebastian Rogers was reported missing on February 26th. She's made that clear. And there's evidence out there to show that she feels that it was after midnight, because that's when she went to bed. But that's the day that they're pushing. For some reason, that date, right? We know there's a lot of meaning to that date to Katie. We know that. And so we've always tried to understand why they pushed the 26th so bad when law enforcement says the 25th. So that does throw a wrench in it for me, because I feel like law enforcement must know, right? But you're not going to chase that squirrel. No. That squirrel's not hurting you, right? Let me see. I don't want to scare it right there. See it? It's sitting up. A little squirrel. Ruby's looking right at it. Look at her. He's just sitting there eating something. I don't want to scare him, move too fast. He's right there. But anyway, you know, that February 26th morning, right? Boo, you're not going to chase that squirrel. That squirrel's not going to run from you. It's right in front of her. Look at this. The squirrel's not running. Ruby, don't jerk me like that. You scared the squirrel. Don't be mean to that squirrel. Don't do nothing to you, little girl. All right, but anyway, since she's sidetracking me over here, I will say that morning, that Facebook post she made, you know, that from Katie Proudfoot that said emergency with the exclamation marks and all the fancy, you know, shit that she used on that thing. Excuse my language. I'm sorry, ladies. I'm sorry. I do feel that statement is very, very, very heartbreaking, because I want y'all to go find it, right? It's the one where she clearly states, let me pull it up here. I'll read some of it to you. I have it on my notepads from back in the day. It says, Katie, day 1 a.m. that morning. She says, emergency, please. If anyone has camera, please check it. My son is missing. Sebastian is missing. That's what you should have said. And why are you asking for cameras and not going around door to door in person? Saying, hey, do you have a camera? I see you have a camera. Can we look? Can we look? Like, that's what missing parents would have done. Not send out a mass group of, hey, neighborhood, if you got cameras, check them, right? My son's missing. And she says, please check it between 12 a.m., midnight, and 6 a.m. That's when she says, my son is missing. Please, if you can, check anything that will help find him, okay? He's 5'5", blonde hair, autistic. That's what she puts. And male. Okay, this is your son you're talking about. Not someone you're trying to help. Like, this is your child. Why not? His name is Sebastian. He's autistic, but he's very high functioning. He's 120 pounds. He's 5'5". He's got, blondish brown hair. He wears black square frame glasses. He was known to have left in a black long sleeve t-shirt with the character on the front. Some black old style Adidas pants with a white stripe. No shoes. He's carrying a little flashlight. Like, why not all these things? Or why not just go door to door like most parents would have done and knocking on each door and say, do you have a camera? Yes. Will you please check it and look for my son, Sebastian? He's missing. Go to the next door. You see the camera? Ring the doorbell. Go to the next door. Because what you're telling us here is if you don't have a camera, then you're no help to us. So what does that tell me? That tells me right away that, like I said in a video about a month and a half ago when we did the video on this, and it was short, but what did I say? I said she is acting as if she needs to know the camera footage to make sure they didn't get caught on camera. Because what I'm wondering now is, how long did it take the flashlight thing to come out? If it was 72 hours, then that means they had known that those lights were on that camera footage. That's what I'm wanting to know. Because that would tell a whole lot more, right? It would. It would tell us a whole lot. I think it would. I think it would give us a lot more answers to the impact of the statement that she gave here. Because she also says that we need to prove. What do you need to prove? Why do you need to prove anything? Your child's missing. Why do you need to prove to us where your child went? Right? Oh my goodness. We come to a new location and what do we find? A golf ball, of course. It's always our luck when we talk about Sebastian Rogers. We always seem to find golf balls. I don't know what that sign is. I wish I knew. If somebody knows what the sign, every time I do a video about Sebastian, we find a golf ball in the middle of nowhere, please let me know that. But back to the statement, right? She's telling us that she needs to prove something. That's guilt. She's guilty. She's worried about the camera. She's worried about any camera out there. Like I said, a month and a half ago. She's worried that a camera may have got something. And you know what I bet that's eating them alive? Is that one set of camera footage that nobody has seen yet. I bet that one is the one that's getting them. But then yet, they'll take a debunked video, released by law enforcement. Hey, this has nothing, no resident value, no nothing. It's just a man walking his dog, yada, yada, yada. And that's it. And then they take that video and they run with it. Oh my God, it's got all the answers. Ruby, what's this? Ruby, what's this? I guess it's nothing. Oh, now you're going to go to it. Yeah, nothing? Okay. We got cheese and enchilada. I don't know. Cheese enchiladas, I guess. I guess they put that in their Halloween bucket. I don't know, but that's kind of weird. But anyway, as I was saying, think about that. Why does she need to prove to us on the morning of, you just reported your child missing? Now, to eliminate one of the red flags, right? She could have gone door to door, banging on the doors, frantically, really acting like she was scared, like a mother should have been, and been knocking on any door that had a camera. All you gotta do is go door to door. If you see a camera, a Ring camera, run up and ask them, hey, can you please check your footage? But law enforcement was already doing this. Don't think they weren't. Why were they beating law enforcement? Why were they trying to beat law enforcement to the cameras? That's what gets me. That's what makes me think they needed to come up with a plan in case it was caught on camera. And then as soon as it was caught on camera, someone goes out and comes back to that back door, that's when shit hit the fan. That's when trash truck starts flying. That's when, oh my God, trash truck, it's nothing. It's been looked at by state, federal, FBI, Secret Service. Remember how he said 10 or 12 different agencies done looked at it and viewed it over and over and over, and it's nothing? Think about that. That's the one clip they can't get around. That's the one clip. That might be the only possible thing in this entire case that gets them. That's powerful, right? Think about that. That might be the only thing in this entire case that ends up making the arrest. And wouldn't that be something? The one little clip that takes them down. And from what I hear, they're actually trying to enhance this video in a whole nother form, which I wish there was a way to do like night vision on it, right? Like run this video through one of our military choppers or something that could actually flip this thing, but there's just no way to do that. I get it, but I know what they want to do, and then what they want to do is try to lighten it up enough to where I think this car might be the only one unaccounted for. And until they can figure that car out, they might not have the answer. But that one clip, I think, is what tagged them from the get-go. Because to me, what she's really telling us is, if you got a camera, you can help me. If you don't have a camera, you're worthless to me, right? That's what she's telling us. So the way I look at that is, I take it as, okay, you're telling me the truth right now, that you know exactly what happened to this child, and you want to make sure that you're not caught on camera. That's how I see it. I don't know if y'all see it the same. Y'all let me know. I wanted to take a few minutes to talk about it, bring it up, see what y'all think about it, and we'll go from there. But, you know, justice for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. We have to keep his name and face out there. Something is going to get him eventually. I just want to know if it is that video, because if it comes down to be that video in particular, holy moly, right? That will be huge. But anyway, guys, y'all have a wonderful day. We're going to keep doing what we're doing. Y'all have a blessed day. Prayers always for Sebastian Wayne Drake Rogers. Prayers for all the missing, all the runaways. And remember, trigger warnings and allegedly, these are just my opinions and my free speech. I'm entitled to it. All alleged. Y'all have a good day, guys. We'll talk soon. We love y'all guys. Justice always. All right, bye.